What's happening, guys? So Nate back here, and in today's video I'm gonna give you behind the scenes look at what it takes to create and set up a brand new print on demand product for a Shopify app. So this is a little behind the scenes of what goes on a daily basis of what I work on, how I get things ready, how I prepare products for my Shopify app and get everything organized and stuff. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into it, show my computer right after this. So guys, a lot of things go on behind the scenes to make this my Shopify app. If you don't already know, I have one, link in the description. A lot goes on to make everything come together to add a new product. So we just added a brand new product, the hooded blankets. I just added them yesterday, actually. I thought I would just make a quick overview video of like what I do in order to make that available in the app. Outside of the actual manufacturing process, which I have a partner, he takes care of the actual manufacturing, logistics, organizing inventory, staff, sewing, all of that. He takes care of all that in the factory. I don't actually work out in the factory. I do all the marketing and the prep for the app and do everything like that. So I just give you a behind the scenes of my side of things for what it took to get the hooded blanket into the app, for example. So I got my screen pulled up here. This process breaks down into very, very simple. I'm gonna make it very simple. It's not actually, it's pretty complicated, but we start with a photo shoot. So I believe in going and taking my own photos for majority. I don't like to use stock photography. So I have staff in the office here in Thailand. We go ahead and take photo shoots. So I send them out on a photo adventure. And then what we do is we have the designer do a mock-up cleanup to fix, photo touch, any issues with the images that were taken and clean things up and make it look and prep it for the actual mock-up. And then we take the print file, which I'll show you that here in a second, and we apply the print file as a smart object onto the template. And then once that's okay and it looks good inside of Photoshop, then we prep that for the app, and that takes custom programming, custom coding. What I'll do here is I'll just show you, like for example, I sent my staff out on a photo shoot. People asked for, hey, you know what, these hooded blankets would be really good for the stadium. Why don't you get mock-ups for the stadium? I was like, okay, that's a good idea. So I sent my staff out and said, hey, let's go take pictures of you in a stadium. So they went to the local track field. Here's a couple of those pictures. So we were just going around and different angles, and basically they take a couple hundred photos every day or whatever, and out of those couple hundred photos we maybe choose one or two that are good enough to move on to the mock-up prep. So like for example, this one looks overexposed, a little too bright, so we wouldn't use this photo. So we just and then they take like different angles or whatever that we possibly could use. Like I kind of like this one. And you can see it says Phuket in the background, so that's where I am. And yeah, they just take photos, and then I go and choose the ones I like that we move on to the next process. So for example, on the next process, what we do, if I choose a photo, the first thing we do is, you can see, let me turn all of this stuff off. And you can see this was the photo, for example, on the beach that we had. This is the photo on the beach that we had that they took. And so, for example, what we'll do is either I'll do it if I'm not busy for the day, or one of the designers will do it. And you go out and clean up all of this, the extra stuff or whatever. So here, let me go click on that. Clean up all the junk. So I use the content aware a lot, and it gets rid of all the stupid stuff that you don't want. This is called the mock-up cleanup. Like I said, make it look good. And then after this is all looking good, and this image is cut out, so they'll cut out the person, right? They'll cut out the person, really nice out of the background. Then what happens is it'll become like this. So you can see that we got the person cut out. We have the mock-up with texture, so you can see when, for example, if it was like this, then the shadows help show through when we add the design. So if we don't have the shadows, it's harder to tell once you add the design that it's a fabric and it looks more fake. So we have to make sure that we add some fabric. and then, or you know, some texture, some contrast, and then I can't remember this layer. This is a layer mask. Oh, this is that. There's two parts to this blanket. I'll show you here in a second. So it looks like this. So the first blanket is applied like this, and then the second blanket is applied like this. And the way that works, so for example, the first one is applied like this with the layer mask, but the actual template here, the actual template looks like that. So we take, if you double click on this layer, you can see that the design is this is the print file for the mockup or whatever is for the design. I know this is probably a boring video, but I'm just giving you guys the behind the scenes of like how this stuff actually happens, right? So this is the print file for the template. I put this checker pattern on there so we can make sure that we are not skewing too much, adjusting the images, or you can see a normal image like this. So if I apply this, you can see what does that look like? So we turn this one off and you turn this on, and you can see that this right there, see how that looks? You take the design and it's skewed into the format that it needs to be, like that, okay? So once we get all of our templates the way we like, or we get the design the way we like, right? So this is what it would look like. So here, let me adjust that. Actually, no, we don't want that. So we put our design in like this. So let's go back to this one with the checkered so you can see. Once it's all lined up, then the next thing we'll do is we'll make the mock-up so that you can actually use it as a PSD. And then once we're happy with the way that it looks, right? So it's technically looking like this. The actual two print files are being used to make this mock-up, and this is being trimmed off around the person, right? It's being trimmed. And then over here, just that little corner is being trimmed. So that you can get the double side of the blanket. And so then these mock-ups are ready to rock and roll. And what we do is we take these, once they're prepped, we take these and we send them, well, not send them, I do it, because nobody else knows how to do it yet. I take these into a programming language, and I'll show you that here. So what we do is we load this with some special code, and I kind of learned how to code this thing, and then we program the text, and then here I'll show you what it looks like. So once it generates, I code the actual PSD file into a programming language, and we turn into a generator, and that's what this is. If it loads, that's what it is. So that's really seems simple, but it's pretty complicated. So we generate, I guess it's not gonna load for me. I can't speed it up. This Explorer is pretty slow sometimes. So the basic idea is a lot of stuff goes behind the scenes to make, and this is just one image. Imagine doing this for 20 plus mockups, right? People ask me, why don't you make all of the mockups available inside of the app so that we can just click buttons and we can choose what mockups we want? Well, the reason I don't do that is because it takes like one day, full 12 hours a day, to prep one single photo for the app. Now, all of this is inside Photoshop, and this process needs to be done for all of them. So if I have 25, like for example, on watches, I got like 40 mockups on watches, and on wallet cases, I have like 40 mockups on watches. I had to do this process for all of that. And so for me to take the Photoshop mockups that are like this and transform it into the programming language for the app is, you know, extremely difficult. So I can, we auto-generate about four images for you. Each of those images, just for the app preparation, takes at least 1 day. So that's 4 days per product every time we want to add a product. And so not including all the mock-up stuff. So we have 20 mock-ups, for example, on hooded blankets. That is separate, so it just adds more time and more work. Let's see if this generated. Is it generate? Yeah, it generated. So that's how this looks. You can see the product right there, generate with the money sum, and then you're gonna apply whatever design you want onto it, and then the mockup loads inside of the app, and everything looks great. And then from the print manufacturing standpoint, all we send is our print file stuff. So we send our print file to the factory, they print it right out flat, cut it out, sew it together, and it's rocking and rolling. And that's a whole process. I don't have that behind the scenes for you, so, because I'm not involved in that process. That's why I have a partner. But this process here, all that looks easy. I wish it was easy, because it kind of looks like, I'm gonna show you example. For example, if I do, let's take this. For example, if I do this one and I remove the mask layer, you can see this and then what it looks like. You can see what it looks like with the warping tool. So you have to warp, can I get that? You have to warp come on. Yeah, you have to warp the design, the template around the object, and make sure that it lines up correctly, make sure that, you know, everything looks good. It's where it's supposed to be. The mock-up's correct. Let's just say I redid these mock-ups for the hooded blanket. I don't know. It takes a long time to do them, and because I do it and I screw up, and then I redo it, screw up, redo it. Yeah, it was very difficult. Let's just say that was very difficult. So guys, I'm just showing you behind the scenes what it takes to kind of do this kind of stuff. So I hope you appreciate it. This video is more not much to show. I mean, other than, you know, what I work on a daily basis. I do all this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, let me know what your guys' feedback are. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be adding more products. We just announced that we're having phone cases inside of the app, okay? So these are normal phone cases. So we have the wallet cases that are super popular, normal phone cases. We have hooded blankets, men's wallets, women's wallets. These are gonna be added in the next week or so. And we have maybe 5 new products in the next 2 months. Okay, so the next 60 days, we should have 5 new products launching. So 4 additional ones on top of that. The app is growing. I'm very excited. Really getting the ball rolling now. For the first 4 months, we just had the 3 products. Now we're getting things rocking and rolling. I'm excited for that. Guys, I'm gonna make more videos about tacticals, how to make sales on Facebook, because I know that's what you guys like and that's what you struggle with. So stay tuned for that. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you on the next video.